Hi, in today's video we are going to find the answer of a very basic and simple question about literature, that what is literature? This is Anis and you are watching literaturely.com. As I have already mentioned that in today's video we are going to find the answer of a very simple and basic question, that what is literature? I think this question is frequently asked from every student of literature, and we know that there is no single definition of literature, although many attempts have been made in order to define literature, but we can't say that there is a single definition of literature that we can quote as a perfect definition. But many definitions have been done according to the role and function played by literature. The first definition we are going to take as an example, or we may say that the very basic definition of literature, that literature is an art, and it is an art of letters. So the writers are the artists who know this art, and they arrange these letters and words in such a way that these words and letters become very attractive. They give aesthetic pleasure to its readers. So we can take the example of an artisan, just like a carpenter. He makes chair, he makes table, and he makes other furniture just from the woods. In the same way, a literary artist also create different kind of literary works just from the words and letters which are available for every one of us. The ordinary words which we listen in our day-to-day life, when these artists arrange these words and letters in such a way that they become very attractive, and we say, wow, what a poem, what a verse, or what a novel, or what a story. What are these stories? What are these novels, or what is poetry? These all are words and letters. But it is only these artists who know this art, these writers who know this art, and they arrange those words and letters in literature in such a way that they become very attractive. Just take this line as an example: a thing of beauty is joy forever. All the words we are quite familiar with them. A thing of beauty is joy forever. These are very common words, but the poet has arranged these words in such a way that these words have become immortal. This line has become immortal, that everything which is beautiful should be joyful, or anything that gives you joy is really beautiful. So you can have a scale of beauty, how you can analyze that if a thing is beautiful, it must give you some kind of joy. So this is how these writers, these poets, these novelists give you immortal lines, give you the words which you can never forget, and you get pleasure from these words. So we can say that literature is an art of letters, and the writers are the magicians who create magic through these letters and words which are very ordinary, which are very common, but they have the power to make them so powerful that they make you influenced and they motivate you. They can make you happy, they can make you dejected, they can make you laugh. They can do anything to you, whatever the writer wants them to be. Let's get to the second definition of literature. Literature is reflection of life, or literature is mirror of life. So literature reflects everything which is there in life. So life is literature and literature is life. Life provides raw material for literature. Whatever there is in life can be a part of literature, or ultimately becomes literature. The writers are great observer of life. They observe life, they make their observations, and then they turn them into a story, or into a poem, or into a drama. So writers are the great observer of life, they are keen observer of life, and everything which is in life becomes the part of literature. We can discuss this word reflection at two levels. At first level, we can say reflections being thinking about life, pondering upon life, or philosophizing life. And the second meaning that we can take from reflection, that it reflects life. It is a mirror to life. Whatever there is in life, it reflects as it is. So it presents a realistic picture of life. So if we talk about the first aspect of reflection, it provides us an opportunity to think about life, that what life is, what life ought to be, or how it is going, what are the problems of society, what is the problem of an individual, and how literature sees it, and how an individual sees it, and how a society sees it. It is also a mirror of life. It reflects life as it is. It presents a realistic picture of life, and we also come to know about a society, its culture, its language, its values. We learn everything through literature about a society. We can take the example of classical novels. Classical novels of medieval, or we talk about classical novels of 18th or 19th century, they reflect the life of that age through those novels, through those plays, we come to know about Shakespearean age, or even we come to know about Greek age, what were their beliefs, what they look like, how they live, how they interact with each other. We come to know through literature about everything what is there in life. So it is a reflection of life, or it is a mirror of life, and it captures the everything which is there in life. So literature presents a realistic picture of a society, or it documents the society. It can also present the history of a society. If one wants to know about the history of any society, we can study the literature of that society. We'll come to know a lot about that society. At the same time, if we come to modern ages, or we can say that 20th century novel, it is also reflecting the society. It is also a mirror of society, but this time this mirror is of a different value, or is of different quality. It is not the same mirror that was used by the writers of 17th or 18th or even 19th century writers. As we know that there are many types of mirrors and lenses. In 17th or 18th century novels, writers used different kind of mirrors and lenses, and in 19th and 20th century and even 21st century, the writers are using different types of mirrors and lenses. Lenses can be concave, convex. In the same way, mirrors can also be of different types. So we can't say that this presentation of life is good, this presentation of life is realistic, and this is not realistic. So it all depends on a writer, how he sees the world. He presents his point of view, his vision, that how he looks at the society. So we can never reject a kind of literature that this is realistic, this is not realistic. It all depends upon the writer, that how sees the world. So literature is a reflection and mirror of life. But remember one thing, literature is never a copy of life. We can never say that a writer is reproducing life. He has seen some characters and he is portraying those characters in his novel, play, or in his poetry. It is always imaginative. Literature is imaginative. It is the production of writer's rich imagination. We know a lot of characters like Hamlet, Dr. Faustus, Oedipus Rex, or even there is long list of great characters in literature. It seems as if they were real characters. They were the part of history, but actually they were not. Maybe the writers were inspired by certain characters, but the novels, the plots, the stories, that poetry is all the creation of poets or writers' own mind. All these definitions of literature are done according to the role and function played by literature, or how literature is created. There is another definition that can be done, that literature is criticism of life. Yes, literature is criticism of life. It criticizes life because it brings the problems of a society, of an individual to the surface. It raises many questions, and it also tries to answer those questions, but it is not the responsibility or a duty of an artist or a writer to answer these questions. It highlights the problem of a society. It highlights the problem of an individual. It also creates a relationship between an individual and society, but it is not the responsibility of a writer or a poet or a novelist or a dramatist that he should provide the answer of those questions or find the solution of those problems being highlighted by literature. Let's sum up the discussion. Life is literature and literature is life. Everything which is surrounding us is literature or can be literature. Me, you, mountains, rivers, grass, flowers, anything which is present in this world can be part of literature. And even the things which do not exist, they are also part of literature. A writer can create a word of his own. There is no limitation of a writer. A writer is a magician. A writer is just like a creative person who can create anything that he likes. Just take the example of science fiction. In science fiction, the writers create such a word which actually does not exist. But we have seen that there are so many writers who created such a word which actually became reality when the time passed. Let's have a quick recap of the video. Literature is an art. It's an art of letters. Literature is reflection of life. Literature is mirror of life. Literature is criticism of life. That is all from today's video. If you like our video, don't forget to subscribe our channel and also click the bell icon so that you may have regular notifications of our videos. And also comment in our comment section if you have any question, if you have any suggestion. Don't hesitate to write to us. And don't forget to like our Facebook page and follow us on Instagram and Twitter. Till the next video, I take my leave. Bye bye.